Have you ever wondered if it's worth paying for food aboard a cruise ship? Well, let's find out. I ate at a low price restaurant, a mid range restaurant, and at an expensive restaurant aboard the Wonder of the Seas. So let's find out if it's worth it or not, and where I think you should spend your time eating on board. Now, I did come into this with a preconceived notion of or opinion of where I thought this would go and what I think that I would spend my money on board. So let's see if the restaurants can change my mind. At the end, I'll wrap up with a review based on the experience, the food, and the price of the restaurant. So, first up, let's check out Playmakers on the Boardwalk. It is a sports bar atmosphere serving bar appetizers. And it's ranked a $1 sign out of $4 signs for price. Got six of the barbecue style wings, so I'm going to start with that. I think I'm going to definitely have to try the fries. You know what? Maybe the onion rings. Here is the six-piece barbecue chicken wings, and let's give these a try. Ooh, I should have asked for all flats. Dip those in some ranch. Okay, so the verdict on the wings. The flavor's really good. The sauce is not too saucy, not dry. The challenge is they're really small wings, and they obviously feel like they've been fried one too many times, and they're a bit dry. And then my chicken bone was broken, so I had a little bit of tough trouble eating that one. But otherwise, like the flavor's really good. I just wish the wings weren't so small because then they've gotten dried out and over fried. These are $10.99 for two pork sliders. Looks like they got a little hot chili pepper on the top there, which I will not be eating. Oh, weird. There's a tomato on the... These are really tasty, but the tomato is something I have never had on a pork slider. And I don't... Wow. And I don't think I want it on there. Like I do love tomatoes with all my heart. I even have a dress with tomatoes on it, but I thought it was a weird choice for a pork slider. Next up, let's check out Chop's Grill. Now that is the signature steakhouse aboard the Wonder of the Seas, and Royal Caribbean ranks that a $2 sign out of $4 sign for price. So this is my first course. This is beef carpaccio, and it looks absolutely delicious. It is thinly sliced raw beef with parmesan and arugula, and here is the bread and butter. Look at this little pretzel roll. That looks delicious. And then like a mini baguette and fresh butter in the cup. I'm trying the beef carpaccio. That is very, very tasty, but it is sticking to the plate. The beef has like a really, really mild flavor. So I'm picking up more of it's kind of almost the fat of it and the parmesan. Okay, so this is the blue cheese wedge salad, and it looks absolutely delicious. Time to try this wedge salad. I am actually a big connoisseur of wedge salad, so here's hoping. Everything I'd expect a wedge salad to be, so it's very tasty. And the little baguette It's really delicious. Okay, y'all, here's my beautiful ribeye that has shown up, and I got a little too excited and started cutting it right away. Let's see. This is my mashed potatoes and my mushrooms, and they look delicious. So I'll be putting that all in my mouth today. Okay, so you're only going to get part of me because honestly, there's just not enough room on this table to get all of me and my steak. But let's just give this a try. Mm. Nice smoky flavor from the grill. Got some béarnaise sauce on the side. It's lightly seasoned. Um, for my taste, I'd probably put just a smidge more salt just because I'm heavy-handed with salt. Okay, I'm going to try the mushrooms and the mashed potatoes. Really well seasoned. I actually really love both of them together. Yeah, definitely would get those again. I definitely order the ribeye if you like ribeye. And for the most expensive option, let's check out 150 Central Park. That is supposed to serve elevated classic entrees. Now, Royal Caribbean does rank this restaurant a $3 sign at a $4 sign in price. So let's see if it's worth it. Here are the appetizers. I'm probably going to get the Caesar salad and the crispy Berkshire pork belly if they allow me to get two things. Here are the main courses, and I will most likely be choosing the pan-seared bill medallions. And then here are the desserts, and I am very, very, very undecided. I love fried cheesecake, but I also am a fan of peanut butter, so we'll just have to see. Tripod just broke. So it looks like I'm just going to be hand holding my camera and recording everything that way. And yeah, we'll get through this. But you'll get your food review. Okay, so they brought me some truffle bread. I believe they said rosemary and maybe lemon. It looks delicious. Look at that. I'm going straight for the center. Okay, we'll let my plate be my tripod. Okay, go on. Great. It's very, very tasty. Okay, this is the Caesar salad with anchovies. Look at those lovely little fishies on the salad. Okay, I'm gonna say, but I don't like the anchovies. They're really, 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 really fishy. Everything else is just a standard Caesar salad. Okay, so this is the crispy pork belly with parsnip puree, or maybe parsnip slaw, or maybe both, and that looks delicious. Okay, so here is my main course. It is a beef tenderloin with crispy onions on top. There is truffle mashed potatoes with some carrots and broccolini. I don't remember what the little chips are. Maybe parsnip, fried parsnip chips. There is a bordelaise sauce and a béarnaise that looks like it has seen better days. So wish me luck on that. But it looks tasty. I'll let you know how it is. Yes, I do have my napkin all the way up to my chin because, yeah, me and white, we don't get along very well. So let's try the beef tenderloin. I asked for medium rare, and that is a very solid medium, maybe almost medium or almost well. Okay, so this is take 2 of my meal. They insisted on taking my steak back because it was very much a medium, high on the medium part. So they have returned it, and it is rare this time instead of medium rare, but whatever. I love rare, so that is great for me. Just pull the napkin higher. Very nice and tender, very well seasoned. Really good flavor on the bordelaise. Thank you. It's very good. Thank you so much. Okay, let's try some of the side dishes. Standard potatoes. I think these were the sides that came with my original because they're room temperature now. But nice, I like the flavors. I think the bordelaise, adding that to it will add some extra flavor. Oh yeah, gotta love a bordelaise sauce. Let me try the dead looking béarnaise. Just has a really good skin on it, but it's still really tasty. Okay, so this is the fried cheesecake. There used to be some caramel sauce. Well, I took off the caramel popcorn because I'm allergic to corn, but there's some whipped cream and then fried cheesecake balls. So this is the fried cheesecake, and it is delicious. Let me see if I can get a bite in my mouth with my left hand. Now, I know in the recordings it can be incredibly difficult to hear me, and I completely apologize for that. However, if I had to pick one word that described the wonder of the seas, I would have to say loud. The restaurants were incredibly loud. The boardwalk could get a little loud, but Central Park sometimes was overwhelmingly loud. Now that I've eaten at all 3 restaurants, let's compare the price, the experience, and the food. So first up, Playmakers. Now that is the sports bar with sports appetizers. So let's talk about my experience. I did get excellent service, and I loved that the restaurant was open to the boardwalk. But again, it was noisy. All of the restaurants were just noisy. Food. I have to say, I would only give that maybe a 3 out of 5 for the food. And that is because of my chicken wings, only 2 of the 6 that I got were edible. Now, I should have asked for a replacement of the 4 wings that were so over fried, dried out, and absolutely inedible. The first 2 that I tried were pretty darn fantastic. They had a really great flavor, good coating, and they were nice and juicy. but the other four, I just don't know what happened. So I don't know if that's a unique experience to the ones that I got or if that's common. I did like the pork sliders. For me, the addition of the tomato was unnecessary, but that's just a personal preference. But as far as cost, did I think it was a good value? No, not for $27. Now, that did include tip, but I did only drink water. So that was $27 for tip and the two items that I chose. And so I'm just not really sold at spending almost $30 on that type of food. So the second restaurant that I ate at was Chop's Grill, and that was the mid-range option. Now, from the research that I did, I found that that normally costs about $50 to $60, which is what I would pay on land for a normal steakhouse. Now, I would have to say that as far as the experience in Chop's, I got excellent service. The seats were comfortable, the tables were comfortable to sit at. Very nice, lovely restaurant. I love that it was on Central Park. As far as the food, I thought it was just normal, average. There wasn't anything to write home about, but I did like it the most out of all of the restaurants that I ate at. The mushrooms and the mashed potatoes had a lot of flavor and they tasted really good together. I thought the steak was well cooked, kind of lightly seasoned. It's just my personal preference that I like a little bit more seasoning on my steak. But it does come out pretty much just a little bit above room temperature, which is kind of normal in a large food service kitchen. However, when you're paying a lot extra to get that food, that steak should be coming out at a much higher temperature. And the last restaurant that I ate at was 150 Central Park. Now again, that's also on Central Park. Royal Caribbean does give that a $3 sign out of a $4 sign for price. And from the research that I did, I found that the average price that people pay in that restaurant is about $100. And from my experience, I had excellent service. I had a comfortable chair and table, and the restaurant was really beautiful. But again, it was so loud in 150 Central Park. Now I get that, people doing celebrations, they're going to be making a little bit more noise, but it was just everything echoed and I could almost not hear myself think. And I know you probably struggled to hear me in the video. So regarding the food, now I thought this was a little bit of a challenge with 150 Central Park, right? It's supposed to be the more expensive option, the more elevated food. The Caesar salad, just a normal Caesar salad. The anchovies were really fishy, which sounds like an oxymoron, but they were definitely the most fishy anchovies I have ever eaten. But I did want to give them a try. So the appetizer, if you notice in the video, I really had a hard time cutting the pork belly. It was kind of honestly impossible. I ended up pulling it apart. It did have a decent flavor, but I'm going to say that that is not a star dish. Now, I was going to order the veal medallions, but I was advised against it because they said that everybody complains about the dish and it's tough, which is really odd to me that veal medallions, which is supposed to be the most tender cut of beef, would actually be a tough meat. But they steered me towards the beef tenderloin. Now, the first time it came out well and almost medium well. And they immediately took it back and brought me back. I asked for medium rare and they brought me back a rare tenderloin, which is fine by me. I actually really like rare. So overall, I was very much pleased with the dish and all of the flavors, especially when you added the Bordelaise sauce or the Béarnaise sauce to your food. That really brought the flavors up. Now, the dessert at 150 Park was really great, and that actually was the only place that I did order dessert. And I had the French cheesecake, and that was really delicious. So I do highly recommend that. So overall, my thoughts kind of are unchanged. So my opinion coming into this was that I don't really think paying for specialty dining or extra dining on a cruise ship is worth the money that you spend. And that's to me personally. I kind of feel like when I'm going on a cruise that all my food should be included in the cost that I'm paying, right? Because most of these cruises are not inexpensive. Now, if you do have extra money and you do want to try and get a meal that is a little bit elevated above what the main dining room may serve, then sure, give it a try. Or like I did, I managed to get a really good package deal where I paid $88 for the meal at Chop's Grill and 150 Central Park combined. So that was a significant savings. But if I hadn't have had that package and if I hadn't have been doing YouTube videos, I don't know necessarily that I would have spent the extra money. So for me, instead of spending the extra money at the specialty restaurants or the pay restaurants, what I would recommend is making a reservation at the Solarium Bistro. That is free. And some of the food on there was actually pretty darn good. And don't forget to check out the roast beef and salad at Park Cafe. There's also a lot of other prepared options that they have available that were really good and worth the time to go down there and get that. I want to thank you so much for coming along on this journey on the Wonder of the Seas with me. And I'm really looking forward to the Freedom of the Seas in November, so be on the lookout for those videos. Now, I think if I can, I definitely want to try and go live while I'm on board, and I'll make sure I put out a notice a couple days in advance. So if you've got your notifications turned on, you'll be notified when I'm going live. And make sure if you like this video to hit the thumbs up. And if you want to continue to see my content in your recommended feed, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And as always, happy cruising, everybody. And if you seek Amy, find her on a cruise.
You seek Amy K, find her on a cruise.